Hey everyone, welcome back. Let me start by saying I had this elaborate video to introduce the skill that we are talking about today, and I do not know why technology was not my friend this week, and it did not save, download, record, or whatever. So we're just going to make it do what it does and, modify and adjust. So I figured I can just insert a couple of pictures real quick just to get the introduction of this video going, and we can move on and talk about factors. That is our skill for today. And I'm going to show you a strategy that might be helpful when you are trying to identify the factors of the given number. And since we're inserting pictures, I have to insert this picture that I took with this AI filter. Y'all, these filters are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, check this out. I appreciate this. This right here, this is learning with Ms. P. Anyway, let's go on and get with the rest of our video and learn about how we can identify these factors. So when we are trying to find the factors, that T is very important because in order for us to successfully determine the factors of a number, we are going to want to use a T chart. So we call it a T chart because, of course, it looks like the letter T, and we have this T kind of in the middle of that word factor. So before we can talk or determine what the factors of a number are, let's make sure that we understand what is a factor. And that is just truly understanding the definition. So your factors, let's say I have 3 times 2 equals 6. Your factors are the two numbers that you multiply together, and they give you your product. So in this case, the product for this problem is 6, but the factors are 3 and 2. The question that we're looking at, like on your test, you may see a question that says, what are the factors of 12? Again, going back to that T, right? You're going to start by writing that big letter T, and whatever the number is that you have to determine the factors of, you are going to write that number on the top. So in this case, we are determining the factors for the number 12. So that 12 is going to go on top of that T chart. Now, the easiest way for us to determine the factors is to start with the number 1. And we're just going to go in order and ask yourself, is there 1 times any number that will give you 12? And I know that 1 times 12 is 12. So I'm going to write 12 on the right side of the T. Then I'm going to go to 2. Ask yourself again, is there 2 times any other number that equals 12? If you know your if you do know your facts, so we know that 2 times 6 is 12. And let's go in order. So notice how I did 1, 2, 3. Is there 3 times anything that equals 12? Yeah, 3 times 4 equals 12. Then I am going to go to the number 4. Does 4 times anything equal 12? Well, guess what? We just said 3 times 4 equals 12. So wouldn't 4 times 3 equal 12? So now since we have a fact that has repeated and it represents the commutative property of multiplication, which means the order of the factors will never change the product. So 3 times 4 is 12 and 4 times 3 is 12. So we can actually stop right here. So we have identified all of the factors for the number 12. So then on your test or on your paper, normally, or the easiest thing may be to just list all of the factors in order. So my answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. These are the factors for the number 12. What about the number 9? Well, I will start the same way with the number 1. Is there a 1 times anything that equals 9? And I know that, yes, 1 times 9 equals 9. Then I go to 2. Is there 2 times any number that equals 9? Well, I know that 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. So unfortunately, there is nothing that will equal 9 if I multiply it by 2. So then I go to 9 or 3, and I'm going to ask, is there 3 times anything that equals 9? And I know that 3 times 3 equals 9. Now in this case, we have the same number. So anytime you have the factor that appears on the left and the right side of your T-chart and they are the same, that lets us know that we are finished. So we have identified all of the factors for 9, and we can scratch out this 2 and this x because that is not a factor. 2 is not a factor. So all of our factors of 9, 1, 3, 9. And I only have to list the number 3 one time because it's the same number. Let's look at the factors of 30. So sometimes your numbers may get a little larger. And you know what? We use the same strategy. So we're going to put that 30 on the top of our T-chart just like we did before. And what number are we going to start with? I hope you said we are going to start with the number 1. So I'm going to put the 1 on the left side of my T-chart. 1 times what equals 30? You guessed it, 30. So I'm going to put 30 on the right side because 1 times 30 is 30. Then I'm going to go to the number 2. Is there a 2 times something that equals 30? Well, I may not know all of my facts yet, but you're working on it, and that's okay. If you are unsure, you should always go and do some kind of work to justify your answers. We're not just going to put an X because, oh, we're unsure. I don't think so. Make sure that you start with what you know. So I know that 2 times 10 is 20, right? So then I know that 2 times 5 equals 10. So then when I add 20 plus 10, that equals 30. So 2 times what equals 30? Well, all I have to do is take these two numbers here. 10 plus 5 equals 15. So 2 times 15 equals 30. Is there a 3 times something that equals 30? I know that 3 times 10 equals 30, so I will put the 10 on the right side of my chart. I'm going to go to 4. Is there a 4 times something that equals 30? So I know that nothing times 4 equals 30, so I put an X there. Is there a 5 times something that equals 30? I know that 5 times 6 equals 30. Then I go to 6. Is there a 6 times something that equals 30? Yes, 6 times 5. So what do we know about this number here? We are finished because 6 times 5 is the same as 5 times 6. And I'm going to scratch this number out here because 4 does not have a factor, friend. So let's list all of the factors of 30. I'm going to start with 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, 30. Those are all of our factors for the number 30. It's your turn. On your own, I would love for you to take a moment and stop, or not stop, but press pause on this video and find the factors for the number 24, and I will help you get started by drawing your teeth chart for you. And let's identify the factors for the number 15. Once you identify your factors for the number 24 and the number 15, be sure to leave your answers in the comment so I can check and make sure that you are on the right track. All right, so that is how we determine the factors of numbers. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 when you're hanging out with Miss P. So before we leave, let's make sure that we remind all of our friends on YouTube, they need to make sure to do what to this video? Yes, and after you like, make sure that you go back, leave a comment, and then share this video with someone else. And most importantly, we all need you to what? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am your hostess, Miss P. Until next time.